AMD Radeon RX 7900 XT is now available for €799 in Germany. Alleged AMD Zen 5 CPU with 8 cores have been spotted on distributed computing platforms. GALAX China has reportedly lowering their price for the select GeForce RTX GPUs, and it could be up to $140 cheap. OneXplayer 2 Pro revealed with AMD Ryzen 7 7840U APU that has a detachable controller. And lastly, NVIDIA DLSS SDK 3.1.13 update brings DLLA as performance quality mode. This is Tech Track. So firstly, we have Mind Factory in Germany, a retailer basically lowered down the pricing for the RX 7900 XT AMD edition, and as you can see, it's coming at $799, which also has the tax included, which is 19% VAT. That's a lot of VAT in Germany, but then again, it's lower than the €1,049. Well, basically 24% cheaper than the MSRP, $799. That's a huge drop in terms of MSRP. So that is not a bad deal, and you can get 7900 XT, 16 gigs of VRAM, like a perfect GPU to play around with. So yeah, I think this is a very good deal if you're buying now, of course, because you have to pay only $799. And I think this should have been the MSRP, right? So let's see about this. Next up, we have Bench Leaks have reported this, and well, they have two leaks coming from Einstein Home and LHC Home. So basically, in Einstein Home, we have this leak that's basically number of processor we're looking at is 16. Basically, when we call number of processors as threads, basically. So that should be an 8-core. 16 threads GPU, and well, not GPU, it's CPU, and you can see the CPU type is authentic AMD engineering sample. So that could be the Zen 5, the first Zen 5. And in the next sleeve, we also have the same inputs we're looking at, CPU type that is authentic AMD engineering sample, the same family for 26, model 264, and stepping O. So that kind of indicates that it probably is the Zen 5 CPU, because it's coming with the 8-core 16 threads. I'm guessing there's the 8-core model, which is probably going to be the 8000. Whatever the naming scheme they're going to go with, I'm not sure. But yeah, that is the 8-core model we're looking at. And same goes for the memory and cache. They remain the same because they're using the same system. And this one, however, is using the AMD core processor, basically the GPU that is mentioned, that is the RX 7900 GRE, which is probably the RX 7900 XT or XTX, who knows, that could be anything else. But yeah, this is the first leak, probably, that the Zen 5 CPUs are probably coming, but not anytime soon, because there's still AMD engineering samples, so will take a while. Next up, we have a GALAX has adjusted their RTX 40 and 30 series of GPUs pricing. So if you look closely here, that RTX 4080 series will get a 1000 RMB cut. That is on par to $140, around $140, not quite, but yeah, $140 cut is a huge cut, I have to say. Not RX, 4070 series probably is getting 150-200 yuan, which is not that much compared to the 1000 RMB. Like only probably the 1/5 of the price cut. So I'm guessing like 140 divided by 5, it should be around like $20 to $30. That is my guess would be. And the 3060, well, they're also getting 250 yuan. That is also around $30 to $40 cut. So again, it's a RMB cut, obviously, so in terms of dollars, it will translate differently, but that is the MSRP we're talking about. They're, comparing with the MSRP and then cutting it to 1000 RMB. So hopefully that is the actual cut, the $140, that's the maximum cut for the RTX 4080, and the 4070, then 3060, 3050 is getting also a little bit of cuts, which is not a huge cut, but still good enough. So 4080 getting $140 cut for the GALAX series, of course, is quite good, honestly. Before going into the next news, I would like you to subscribe to the channel and, of course, like the video, and have a good day. Next up, we have something interesting, that OneXplayer 2 Pro, this is a 3-in-1 gaming handheld console, and the reason they're calling it 3-in-1, we'll talk about it, but first we're looking at this one is coming with the same processor that, well, the other two console that were released, well, not the other two, just only one of them, which was the AOK Zo, and then there was another one which was ROG Ally, which was using the Z1 processors. But this one, however, is the OneXplayer OneXplayer that is using the same processor here, or the APU I should say, that the R7-7840U processor. And as you can see, this is the one, and that's why I said this is a 3-in-1 gaming. Well, they're claiming it obviously, but let's talk about it. This is a 3-in-1 gaming because you have the controller and you also have the keyboard, and you can also have the screen, just only the screen. Yeah, it is weird. So as you can see, this is the without the numpad, or the keyboard I should say, and that's just a controller that you can detach, which is very interesting. And that's the whole showcase. That's a lot of them. And as I mentioned, this is the without the screen. Exactly, this is without the screen. That looks so strange. Or is it the without the screen? I'm not sure, but I don't think the screen is that small, right? So yeah, it's very strange looking console with, you know, the controllers that you can detach, even the keyboard. And that's the controller, as I said, without the controllers here, as I mentioned. Only the keyboard, which also has a, strangely enough, touchpad for the, you know, for the mouse, which is very strange. I don't know which OS they're using, because as you can see, operating system doesn't look like it's Windows or something different. I don't know what operating system. Oh, never mind. That is Windows 11. Yeah, it looked weird, but at some point, but yeah, now it was clear. Yeah, Windows 11, it's supported, so that's great. So yeah, it's just a strange looking console here, which is also using the same APU, Ryzen 7 7840U. Should perform the same as well, the benchmark, so doesn't really have to talk about it. But yeah, this console is pretty strange looking. Has a, well, it's a mini PC. You can game on it, you can also work, you can also, you know, type stuff, browse, of course, you can do all of this. 3-in-1, that's what they mentioned. So interesting looking keyboard, or not the keyboard, the console here. So yeah, strange. Don't know the pricing yet, but we'll know for sure. And next up we have the DLSS update. Well, basically DLSS Super Resolution SDK 3.1.13 has been released, and this one has a change. They have added a DLAA as a upscaling, well, we could say an upscaling mode. So as you can see, this is a user mentioned that there's a change that they have added DLAA as a performance quality mode, which is an interesting. This is another deep learning anti-aliasing mode they have added for the performance quality mode. That is a really interesting approach they're taking. They're adding the DLAA as the quality mode, which is never expected. But then again, this is a newer addition to the DLSS 3.0, so that's pretty good. And it seems like that DLAA, which will be the performance quality option, and probably will work as the same as the quality mode and other modes that you can see. But yeah, I wonder how much different that is compared to the actual performance mode they have already. So DLAA as performance quality mode versus the actual performance mode, I wonder how much improvement it has. If it has something, well, obviously it should have something. That's pretty good from the DLSS side, of course.